was kind of uncanny how often I received the Tower, the Death, and the Devil card in this series of readings. And you were the lucky recipient of the Death and the Devil card. Now the Devil symbolizes you, so we can't make too much out of it right at this point. And another thing that was really prominent in these readings was that there'd be a really negative card paired with a really positive card. And in some oddball way, they'd balance each other out into some kind of harmony. And it was like accepting defeat and victory at the same time. Now the cards on the left are the past. You received the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. You got some fire energy going on there. Let's talk about the Nine of Wands first. It's like you're seeking the stamina to overcome some kind of hardship, because this is a time out between battles. You're weary and wrecked, wounded, drained to strength. But you realize the show must go on and you have to continue. And this card can bring difficulties, but the redeeming feature of this is that this is in your past. And this little time out is just a respite in between going to the final push to your goals. Because the number 9 is the number of going to completion. But you've had some formidable foes, and it's taken a lot of energy for you to get to this point, and now it's getting to the end of the siege. You know, I learned a long time ago it's hard to juggle a lot of things, and you have to do, drop, delegate, or delay. And really at this point, it's time to delegate a lot of things to other people. You know, you can do the major part of stuff, but, you know, the extraneous stuff needs to be pushed aside and have other people take care of it for you. This card could also indicate that there's some type of broken heart from romantic intrigues that's really bothering you now. You found out somebody that you thought was a really nice person ended up being Ivan the Terrible. And you feel like maybe you need to put some distance between you and this person. Whatever it was, something changed very quickly because you received the Eight of Wands. And this can herald cycles of our lives and children growing up and us getting older year by year, and it emphasizes necessary change and its challenges. And it's actually really kind of saying that you just have to deal with it. If something was confusing you in life, it no longer is anymore. This card can feel like you're putting the pieces of a puzzle together, and all of a sudden you're seeing things with more clarity. And it also brings opportunity into the picture. You're having some closure of some setbacks, especially with it paired with the Nine of Wands, and now it's time for you to move forward. And the cards to the right of it, for the base of your spine, for what I call sourcing and urgings. And this can be your experience from past lives, through your childhood, up to today, and how you think about it in your unconscious self, inner self. You receive the Nine of Cups and the Six of Cups. Now the Nine of Cups is the wish card. I always say curiosity killed the cat, and satisfaction brought him back, because the wish card is about contentment and satisfaction. And I think the Nine of Wands in the past is connected to the Nine of Cups. You've matured from this weary, battle-ridden person. But there's something going on with your past, because the Six of Cups is about memories and childhood. There's some past influences that could be favorably or negatively affecting your present life. I have a feeling there's a long history with somebody, and maybe things didn't work out so well because you have to read the cards in advance in this reading from what I'm seeing, because you can't get the whole picture just looking at one little cluster of cards. Because up above, you have the Eight of Cups and the Devil. And something's connected to the Six of Cups with the Devil and you walking away from something. You know, the Nine of Cups can be a card of indulgence, and it's not necessarily in your cups and from drinking too much or doing drugs, More than that, you've indulged yourself in maybe manipulative type emotions. Maybe you're doing that to somebody or somebody's doing it to you. Because as I mentioned, the cards up above are fairly negative. This is your pelvic and sacrum for awakening and personal growth and even sexual prowess. And something's blocking all of this because the Eight of Cups is about walking away from something. And here underneath you have the Nine of Cups, and up above you have the Eight of Cups. So it's saying you digressed from this wish card. You weren't able to redeem your one wish. Or maybe it's a wish that says it's get out of guilt card. Maybe something happened with this indulgence that you've been doing, or that somebody's been imposing on you. Whatever it is, somebody walked away from somebody else. And things are going to change from the status quo. Things had stagnated, and it felt like an airless doldrum. And it was really time to get a breath of fresh air. And some people say, oh, it's a bummer, I'm walking away from something. But in reality, you're freeing yourself from bondage. And that's what it's saying, because the Devil card, as the clarification card, was holding you in bondage of some sort. But the Devil didn't make you do anything. You did it yourself, and you even wondered sometimes, was that my hand that did that, or did I really say that? And I think other people came back and responded with some very negative things to you. Now, with all of this changes going on, the cards up above for your solar plexus for sensing and feeling, you receive the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The Seven of Cups is about a difficult decision. There's a prize and a poison in each cup, and you have to decide which one to choose and which one to lose. You know, and there it is once again. You've digressed because you have the Nine of Cups on the bottom, the Eight of Cups in the middle, and the Seven of Cups on the top. So you've gone a full revolution of going, gee, where am I at? But then the Ace of Swords is giving you a new reality, but this new promise can hurt and harm as much as it can heal and rebuild. It's really up to your free will and what you decide with the Seven of Cups. What will happen with this new Ace reality? And now you didn't decide the right thing, or haven't been able to get to the right point, because you received the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Wands in the center for the heart of the matter. The Ten of Swords is about being betrayed, disloyalty, some type of infidelity, disappointment. You've suffered some type of pain, loss, endings. But as the Eight of Cups next to it says, yeah, you've been released, though. You walked away, you're letting it go. And once again, you're given a new Ace promise with the Ace of Wands there. But this is a creative, inspirational promise. It's saying to take a grip of the wand and have a reality check and take control of your life path. But you're still not quite sure of what's going on. There's been some confusion because the cards on the bottom right for your throat for communicating and teaching, you receive the Four of Swords and the Eight of Wands again. The Four of Swords once again is a respite card, just like the Nine of Wands in the past. There's a knight laying on his tomb. He had bought his tomb before he went out to battle, just like the Nine of Wands. But he came back alive, and some of his friends died in the campaign. And he's wondering, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of my life? Where am I going, and what's going to make me happy? Because I've had some setbacks with the Devil card and the Ten of Wands. Even though the Devil card does represent me, there is some negative aspect to it. And there's some resolutions that have to be made and some changes in your life. And I don't think you've wanted to do them. And that's why it puts you into the Nine of Wands mode and now the Four of Swords mode. Once again, there was some kind of sudden events unfolding because you received the Eight of Wands twice. And it's saying there's going to be some changes regardless of what you think or what you've done. You know, when you don't make the right decisions, or if you don't make a decision, or if somebody's making the decisions for you and you don't like them or they're not advantageous to your life, the cosmos will step in and start making them for you. And it certainly did, because the cards up above are the Death and the Ten of Pentacles. Death only steps onto the stage when he's really needed. And now you're in a transformation from all that's happened. And it's saying, yeah, you had some happiness, because the Ten of Pentacles is about happiness, but you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to maintain it. This happiness just didn't go on automatic and continue into eternity. You have to work for it. And this can be about money and finances, but here I'm kind of feeling it's about health and well-being within yourself. And the cards up above for the Crown for knowing and understanding, you receive the King of Cups and the Emperor. Each one has its own forte. Cups is for supporting you emotionally, and the Emperor is there to support your life and maintaining it and taking control. Now the King of Cups takes control of his emotions. He knows how to control his emotions, and that's what he wants you to do. And he also can ameliorate injured hearts and hurt feelings. He wants you to master your passionate emotional self, because I think there's been some imbalance going on here. And the Emperor is saying the same thing too, because he's about structure, organization, and responsibility. He's about setting boundaries. Now, are you the one that needs to set boundaries to other people, or do you need to curb your own behavior and set boundaries for yourself? Because not all of this is turning out too happy, because the cards on the right for the future, you receive the Three of Swords, the Moon, and the Empress card. Now the Three of Swords is about heartbreak. It's a severing of ties. You have some wounds, some painful rejection. And this is related to the Nine of Wands. Back there you were weary, hurt, wrecked, wounded. And now this goes back to the heart of the matter, where the Ten of Swords came into the picture. There's some painful things going on. You know, and the funny thing about it is everybody wants to say, well, it was everybody else's fault. But you know what? Blame brings ownership. You know, we're not innocent victims in a situation. Just us being involved in it brings us into it to the point where, yeah, we said and did some things that maybe we're not too proud of. And the Moon card, too, is instilling fear. And you're not sure what's going to happen, and there's some unknown questions still hanging in the air. And a lot of times this card means secrets and deception. But then again, the reflective light of the Moon can cause disillusionments. But the Empress is putting you back on planet Earth and grounding your feet, because she's about material things and material senses. And she's also about fertility and new beginnings. It's time for you to take advantage of the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands and start a new beginning. Okay, and I pulled a Doreen Virtue Messages Angel card, and you receive Grace and Antoinette to help heal the situation, see other person's point of view with compassion. I think it pretty much says it all. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.